I guess you want to know how the atmosphere, as a consequence of the attack in Paris, would affect it. Look, I think it is absolutely vital for every country, every leader to send a signal that the viciousness of a handful of killers does not stop the world from doing vital business. And that Paris, one of the most beautiful, enticing cities in the world, is not going to be cowed by the violent, demented actions of a few. And that's part of the overall message that I want to very clearly send the American people. We do not succumb to fear. That's the primary power that these terrorists have over us. They cannot strike a mortal blow against the United States or against France or against a country like Malaysia. But they can make people fearful, and that's understandable, because that could have been us, that could have been our families, that could have been our children in these places. And our hearts are broken when we see these images. But in addition to hunting down terrorists, in addition to effective intelligence, and in addition to missile strikes, in addition to cutting off financing, and all the other things that we're doing, the most powerful tool we have to fight ISIL is to say that we're not afraid, to not elevate them, to somehow buy into their fantasy that they're doing something important. They're a bunch of killers. And there have been people throughout human history who can find an excuse to kill people because they don't think like them or look like them. And we fight them, and we beat them. And we don't change our institutions and our culture and our values because of them. I want to be very clear about this. I am not afraid that ISIL will beat us because of their operations. When I see a headline that says this individual who designed this plot in Paris is a mastermind, he's not a mastermind. He found a few other vicious people, got hands on some fairly conventional weapons, and sadly it turns out that if you're willing to die, you can kill a lot of people. And so it is in our capacity to roll up those networks. Now we got to take precautions, we have to take it seriously, and we have to go at the heart of the problem that exists inside of Syria and Iraq right now. And we have to address the broader issues that exist in a tiny fraction of the Muslim community, but it is a real problem that leaders from Prime Minister Najib to the President of Indonesia and others who have large Muslim populations acknowledge. A country like Indonesia has 250 million people. If just a tiny fraction of those are in some ways attracted by a vicious ideology like ISIL's, then that's a real problem for us. And so, tools like countering this narrative and Muslim clerics and political leaders and community leaders coming forward and making sure that our children are not being fed this kind of bile, that's critically important as well. But in all of this, we cannot respond from fear. And the American people in the past have confronted some very real, enormous threats, and we beat them. We vanquished them. This will be no different.